ESOP is a notional cost incurred by a company to compensate the efforts of its employees. Over the years, ESOP has been a lucrative way of retention of employees and to woo them. ESOP too has become a matter of litigation over the years. Amongst various litigations possible under the ESOP, timing of taxation is an important aspect. Section 17 bracket 2 of the IT Act, read with Rule 3 of the Income Tax Rules, provides for the valuation of ESOP and prescribes date of exercise should be the value considered. The timing of taxation is often misunderstood with this. Hyderabad ITAT has eased this complexity with a nice judgment here. Here are the briefs of facts of this case related to Bharat Financial Inclusion Limited. The assessee, a company incorporated under the Companies Act 1956, is registered as a non-banking finance company with the Reserve Bank of India. The company is engaged in the business of granting micro loans in rural areas across 19 states in India. A survey operation under Section 133A of the Act was conducted in the case of assessee on 17 December 2014 to verify the compliance with TDS provisions. During the survey, it was observed by the Deputy Commissioner of Income Tax, TDS Circle 2 bracket 1 Hyderabad, that Mr. Vikram Akula, then employee of the company, has received compensation in the form of employee stock options granted to him and a certain amount as non-compete fee via a separate and general release agreement. The assessing officer completed the proceedings by passing an order under section 201 bracket 1 and 201 bracket 1A of the Act and raised the following demands. TDS on ESOP perquisite granted to Mr. Vikram under section 192 of the Act 4.73 crores. Company paid on 7 June 2012. Interest under section 201 bracket 1A on the above 63.9 lakhs. TDS on non-compete fee payable to Mr. Vikram under section 194J of the Act 65 lakhs. Company paid on 7 June 2012. Interest under section 201 bracket 1A on the non-compete fee portion 7.8 lakhs. Total demand 6.1 crores. Later, the assessing officer passed revised order under section 154, reducing the demand raised to 1.11 crore. The reasons for passing the order under section 201 bracket 1 and 201 bracket 1A by the assessing officer. The assessee should have withheld taxes on communication of desire to exercise shares by Mr. Vikram on 13th October 2011 itself, being the date of receipt of communication of exercise of ESOP from Mr. Vikram, and not the date of allotment of shares based on the following contentions. Provisions of section 192 of the Act do not permit postponement of tax withholding till receipt of TDS amount from the employee. Assessee was in possession of sufficient funds that were payable to Mr. Vikram to discharge the withholding tax on ESOP, and therefore the assessee should have adjusted the amount payable against the withholding taxes suo motu. Separation agreement has been used by the assessee for deferring the tax liability of Mr. Vikram, relying on section 23 of the Indian Contract Act and the ruling of the Mumbai Tribunal in the case of Hathway Investments Private Limited versus Additional Commissioner. The learned assessing officer has held that separation agreement has been used to defeat the provisions of withholding tax and therefore invalid. As per the learned assessing officer, the appellant should have withheld taxes on non-compete fee on entering into the separation agreement dated 23rd November 2011, as the non-compete fee had accrued to Mr. Vikram on entering into the separation agreement. Aggrieved by the order of assessing officer, the assessee preferred an appeal before the Commissioner of Income Tax Appeals. Before the CIT appeals, the assessee filed written submissions which were extracted by the CIT appeals in his order. The CIT appeals deleted the interest levied by the assessing officer under section 201 bracket 1a with respect to non-compete fee and sustained the interest levied under section 201 bracket 1a with respect to perquisite of ESOP. Aggrieved by the order of CIT appeals, the assessee went on appeal before ITAT, raising the following grounds of appeal. CIT appeals erred in holding that perquisite tax on ESOP is to be deducted on the date of exercise of option and not on the date of allotment of shares. CIT appeals erred in holding the appellant as assessee in default both in law as well as in facts for late deduction or late deposit of tax deducted at source to government treasury and levying interest under section 201 bracket 1a. Without prejudice to ground number 2, assuming but not admitting that interest under section 201 bracket 1a of the Act is to be levied, the learned CIT appeals A. Erred in holding that TDS deposited by the appellant is to be recharacterized and adjusted towards interest under section 201 bracket 1a of the Act. B. Erred in holding the appellant as assessee in default both in law as well as in facts for non-deposit of TDS to government treasury and levying interest under section 201 bracket 1a bracket 2 of the Act, whereas payment has already been made by the appellant. Let us look at the assessee's submission before the ITAT. Withholding triggers on payment of any income chargeable as salaries. A perquisite arises in hands of employees as on the date of allotment of shares pursuant to ESOP. The value of the perk is the difference between FMV on date of exercise and amount paid by the employee. Therefore, it is evident that the withholding obligations is triggered on the date of allotment of shares to the employee. Further, only for the purpose of valuation of perquisite, the FMV of shares as on the date of exercising the option is to be considered. Here, exercising the ESOP is not payment of salary, allotment of shares is payment of salary. That is the gist of the submission of assessee before the ITAT. Views of the ITAT. The ex-employee has a right to exercise once he exercises the option. The price of the shares are freezed. That means the exercise of the option is only acceptance of the proposal as per the scheme of 2007. The proposal comes with the obligation, that is, with conditions of such exercise of option. Once the option is exercised, the company which allots the shares has certain obligation on their part to safeguard their interest. The allotment cannot be completed without receiving the full price of the shares. The ITAT observed Mr. Vikram, the ex-employee, exercised the ESOP option on 13th October 2011. The assessee has allotted the shares on 4th May 2012, after completion of certain conditions put forth by the assessee in separation agreement. The essential conditions are the non-compete fees payable upon fulfillment of commitments made by Mr. Vikram, such as 1. Non-disposal agreements entered for enforcing restriction on sale of shares to be allotted under the scheme of 2007. 2. On receipt of withholding tax on the allotment of shares. These are the essential conditions in order to safeguard the interest of the assessee. The ITAT further observed, the ex-employee has a right to exercise. Once he exercises the option, the price of the shares are freezed. The exercise of the option is only acceptance of the proposal as per the scheme of 2007. The proposal comes with the obligation, that is, with conditions of such exercise of option. Once the option is exercised, the company which allots the shares has certain obligation on their part to safeguard their interest. The allotment cannot be completed without receiving the full price of the shares. In the given case, mere receipt of the price agreed is not enough, but to receive the cost of shares exercised along with the withholding tax. These are obligations on the part of the person exercising the option. This transaction will come to an end as and when the person exercising the option also completes his part of commitment. Therefore, mere exercise of the option is not enough. It is only initial acceptance of right or proposal which comes with certain commitments. As and when the commitment is complete, the proposal said to be accepted. The goal post of acceptance shifted until completion of the commitment which comes along with the scheme. As submitted by learned AR, the provisions of section 192 is applicable only on payment basis, not on accrual basis. The value of the perquisite can be determined as per section 17 subsection 2 clause 6 of the IT Act, but it is taxable only when the assessee makes the payment, in this case allotment of shares. Here is the final verdict. In case it is accepted that the contention of learned CIT appeals that separation agreement should not be used to defer the tax liability, the company allots the shares and pays the withholding tax. Then the company allots the shares without receiving full consideration on such shares. In case Mr. Vikram fails to comply with the separation agreement, the company cannot cancel the allotment of shares. Therefore, the assessee has to safeguard its interest first. Coming to other argument that withholding tax should have been paid against the non-compete fee, in the view of the ITAT, the non-compete fee is not accrued in this assessment year. It is also the finding of learned CIT appeals. Therefore, the amended provision as per section 17 subsection 2 clause 6 is only to determine the value of ESOP transaction, and the obligation for withholding tax accrues only when the shares are allotted after completion of commitments on the part of the person who exercised the option. Mere exercise of acceptance is only acceptance of general proposal. Accordingly, grounds raised by the assessee on this are allowed. Thank you for a patient hearing. In order to get more such videos, kindly subscribe this channel and click on bell button to receive new videos in real time. Please like the video in order to encourage to make more such videos.